Welcome, guys, to another live. Sorry, I'm still sick from the weekend. That's why I didn't go live yesterday. Mainly just congested, but it's all right. Took medications and stuff. But let's get into it. This just came out an hour ago. Blueface reportedly gets into a shootout as a video of Christian Rock beating up a woman in the street goes viral. I feel like between him and Christian Rock, someone's always in the news, right? But there is a video from No Jumper. Look right here. Blueface and his crew allegedly get into a shootout after Nave's baby shower as he leaves with his old baby mama. Look at that. And then you'll see.
What the fuck? What the fuck happened?
What about this? I do shit.
Yeah, I think it's. There's a video where you can see him.
AFP Engine 27 staging.
I think it's this one where you can see him.
What the fuck? What the fuck happened?
What about this? I do shit.
Right there, see? And that's her. Did you see how she just pushed him to the side? She's crazy. Let's see what else is going on here, if they have anything interesting. Oh, wow, look at this. Tony Yayo reveals the truth about G-Unit's scuffle with Travis Scott. When was this? Last month, it was reported that Scott and the NBA star Jordan Clarkson were escorted out of a New York City members-only club after a bottle-throwing brawl. 50 Cent was performing at the venue, and it was said that Scott was mad at someone allegedly recording him. Oh, wow. Oh, look. Tony Yayo stated that Scott had ego as Unit tried to pass through Scott's section near the stage. The Astroworld artist claimed that they weren't allowed to go. This subsequently led to a bit of a scuffle where Yayo claimed Scott was dispatched with relative ease. Let's see if this is the video right here. Yeah.
You like Travis Scott?
He alright.
Alright, that's
Why you
what's
ask that?
up. I was just wondering.
You know, there was a rumor that y'all roughed him up the other night.
I don't want to disclose that.
Okay.
Something did pop off.
What's up? Travis Scott at a party in New York.
Oh,
Fanatics
that's what
weekend.
you came in and said. Okay.
All right, fuck it. I'm gonna tell you what.
Tell us.
Tell us real quick.
Please. Walking through the club.
Walking through the club.
I don't know what Travis Scott is on, but I already been wilding, like throwing clothes out of Michael Rubin's house and all kind of shit. Rumors going on, and he just told the wrong person, like, yo, you can't come through here. I'm drilling shit. Like, I guess he was on some gangster rapper shit, and niggas wasn't having it.
Was 50 performing while this happened?
No, he was coming.
Oh, he
off
was
stage.
coming through with y'all. Oh, y'all
Yeah,
were
he was
coming
coming
off
on
stage. He was
stage.
coming off
But it
stage.
was like a light. It wasn't really nothing. It was just like a
little
kerfuffle. Yeah, but
Oh, it wasn't anything too big. Okay. But anyways, what I wanted to play was, hold on, let me just see if I can pull it up on Drake Pen Game. Oh, come on.
I mean, you know, I dropped 3 on that head top. These guys are dropping albums. It's like hello and goodbye. You know what I'm saying? And careful with that reply because the pen isn't dry. I'm just letting you know. That's what I'm on. By the way, let me pump it.
I mean, it's funny how he says that, but then let's go right here to the Billboard's 100, you can see, let me just move my screen over a little bit, minute section. So this is as of this week, week of August 13th. So number one, we have Ariana Grande. Then number two, Morgan Wallen. Did his album drop like all the way? What? I actually forgot when his album dropped. And then right here, you see Drake is at number 6. So if you claim to be all that good, you're not even in the top 3, you know? But yeah, I wanted to show that. And then also, what I wanted to show regarding this clip with, I follow him, he has really good content, Jesse on. Pretty much, it's regarding like, you know, the whole Drake and Kendrick beef, how he thinks the game was the mole in this whole beef and stuff. But let's play the video.
So there's a new theory out here, okay? And before I really give y'all my personal opinion on the theory, I'm gonna break down what the theory is so y'all know what we talking about, because some of y'all might not be aware of what this theory is, right? The new theory is that the game might actually be the mole. And I know off top, based off everything that we've been seeing recently, that sounds crazy. But it's not that bad of a theory. It's not that bad, okay?
I think the reason why he probably said that is because, yeah, Game is close with Drake and stuff, but Game also knows, obviously, majority of the people, right? And has connections with out in Compton, right? Like, he probably knows a lot of mutual people that know Kendrick and that also are cool with Game. Like, I know he knows Top. I'm sure he knows Glasses, Malone. Obviously, Whack 100. But, yeah, let's see.
And I'm going to let y'all
What happened?
know how I feel about it. But we're going to break it down first. Now, I know y'all remember that era where everybody was trying to figure out who the mole was. Who was the person that was feeding Kendrick this information? And as a matter of fact, I think people got so sure because Drake almost felt like he had.
So when Kendrick dropped those disses and, you know, some of the information that he revealed in his songs and stuff, and also the artwork and all of that, it felt like there was someone besides Game who's very close to Drake, somebody in his camp, right? Didn't it, like, I know Kendrick mentioned somebody like in his camp who might be leaking all this information, right? But the thing is, like, Game is close to Drake, but we can't say he's part of his camp, right? Like, when we think of his camp, we think of all the people that are immediately with him on a daily basis, right? I'm sure he's in touch with Game frequently, but he doesn't roll with him like that.
Had to say, well, we fed you the information, because I think that Drake believed that somebody in his camp was feeding that information, and it probably makes sense as to why Drake's been making all of these different songs, like the Irish freestyle and the stuff that was coming out before Iceman about, you know, disloyalty and people taking all this different stuff. Whatever Kendrick was doing was probably extremely effective, whether it was true or not. And that's another thing that we're going to talk about, okay? Now, the reason people think that the game might actually be the mole comes...
Or what if there is someone, right, that Kendrick knows, who also knows Game very closely, and who got information out of Game, and Game didn't realize that, oh crap, this person is also close to Kendrick, and what if he goes and tells him, right? But even if, let's say, Game was the mole, how is Game also getting this information, right? I haven't, actually, this is my first time. I watched a bit of this, I think yesterday or something, I forgot when. But yeah, let's finish watching the whole video.
Back to, you already know what, 616 in LA. Well, everything, as a matter of fact, with everything that we've been seeing, I think we need a 616 in LA Gets Darker Part 4. We need another one of those videos. Because this song continues to pull back more layers on things that's going on. Not even the
From the whole beef, this is actually one of my favorite songs. I felt like it was one of the underrated songs compared to Euphoria, Not Like Us, of course, and Meet the Grams. This song, I think, is probably one of the most cryptic songs where he drops a lot of information. Where I think this is the one where he also says, "Oh, let me put you on some game," right? Oh,
Involved in this game thing, but just all the other stuff that's been going on around the same time. This song just keeps peeling. The layers keep peeling. Okay?
no, literally. Um, yeah, somebody lying. I can see the vibes on act. Even he looking compromised. Yeah, let's peel the layers back. Ain't no brownie points for beating your chest. Harassing ain't effing with good people. Make good people go to bat. Conspiracies about cash, dog. That's not even the leak. Find the jewels like cash doll. He's so ill with his rhymes, Kendrick, I swear. He literally is a prophet. Besides an artist and a lyricist and a great storyteller, I think the fact that this song is 2 years old and we're still like trying to unfold things and make meanings of each line is crazy. I think what's happening right now, he literally obviously predicted this 2 years ago.
Now, the line that people been talking about is right around this area. All right? This is where Kendrick starts to talk directly to Drake and pretty much starts to break down the propaganda, the roles in which the information is being shared, and how that information is then used to thwart or shape narratives to go against Kendrick Lamar or to aid Drake or to aid anybody within that camp, within that conglomerate. Because that's really...
I still feel like he's not only dissing Drake on this song, but he's also talking about the game, you know? Obviously, there's no way to confirm it, but it'd be sick to have one diss track dissing two people.
What it is, it's a conglomerate now. And when you're really paying attention, you see all the different conspirators, all the different stuff. Like, it's a conglomerate, and a lot of the things that these guys are being looked at for, they're now creating narratives and spinning it back on what they deem as the opposition. But that's a lot of what this verse is about, right? The misinformation that is being put out, the propaganda, all this different stuff from effing with good people make good people go to bat. Conspiracies about cash doll, that's not even a leak. Find the jewels like cash doll. I just need you to think. He's talking to Drake in a way, and you know what?
I think till this day, Drake doesn't know who's leaking the information. I don't think he does. Because, like, I'm sure Drake heard of this diss track, and he probably got to work behind closed doors to see who is leaking the information. But if word is leaking without even knowing, there's no way to pinpoint, right? Or maybe there is that one person who's doing this on purpose, but Drake can't seem to figure out who, because the fact that he obviously trusts everyone in his camp, you know?
What's so special about this song, real quick? Kanye West said that Drake always disses you in a way that only you know that he's talking to you, right? And that's honestly...
That's very true that he mentions about Kanye, because just, I don't know what song it was on Iceman, where he was talking about Sauce Walka's girl. And obviously Sauce Walka was not having it, and only he knew about it, right? And Drake has always been that person where he'll throw, even at like, Pusha T, he's done that with, and all the other rappers that he's had an issue with in the past, where he'll just like throw a line that you'll probably miss, or when you hear it, you know it's about you.
The genius of 616 in LA, because not only is he making his own version of the timestamp, but he's talking to Drake in ways that only Drake understands. This first verse, I think there's been plenty of breakdowns about this verse. Some people say it's from the perspective of Drake, all the different stuff. The only person that understands this verse in its totality, in my opinion, is probably Drake. Okay?
But even if he does understand it, we still don't know who that person is. Because if Drake kicked that person at his camp, I'm sure he probably, somewhere on his new album, the 3 albums, right? He would have referenced it somehow, some way for that other person to know, and obviously for the fans to know as well.
But let's get back to this. So it was fun till you started putting money in the streets, then lost money because they came back with no receipts. I'm sorry that I live a boring life. I love peace, but war ready if the world is ready to see you bleed. So once again, this is a mirror, right? It's a reflection. It's a.
And that's what he did, right? When the battle first started, when Drake kept poking fun after he released what Taylor Made, that was the first one. And we had what, 10 or what is it, 18 days in between or something, where Kendrick didn't say anything. And it was pretty much like you're poking the bear. And it's like, Kendrick's always been the type, like, let me do me, let me do what I gotta do, like, don't bother me. You know, I enjoy, of course, he enjoys the art of making music and rapping and all that stuff, but he also is a deep person on the inside where he, you know, like Drake, he doesn't always need to be in the limelight or always drop music and this and that, you know? And if that's why, you know, whenever we have that conversation of the top 3 lyricists in this generation, there's a reason why Kendrick is always mentioned, besides obviously J. Cole and Drake. And, you know, out of all those 3, Kendrick drops the least amount of music, right? But yet we still include him. Why? Because of the fact that the music is so timeless, and at each phase of his life there has been growth, which we see in his music, the whole storytelling and how he rhymes and all that stuff. And that's pretty much what he was trying to say, like, to Drake over here, the fact that, you know, yeah, I may not say anything, but if you come at me, like, yes, I enjoy my peace, no doubt, but if somebody comes at me, I'm always ready. I'm always locked, ready, and loaded.
Spin on what Drake is attempting to do to Kendrick Lamar. Drake is trying to get information out of the streets. He's trying to get information, etc. So Kendrick flips it back on him, and this is where people start to think that the game might actually be the mold.
Even if Kendrick is such a private person that even if you tried so hard, he's a private person. 2, Kendrick's circle is so small, right? Like, he's only close to very few people, right? Like Top Dog and all these other people. And it's like, even if you tried, who would you reach out to get that information, right? And if you see right here, right, like where it says, know the wires in your circle. Know the wires in your circle should puzzle you. If you were street smart, then you would have caught your entourage is only to hustle you. 100 ninjas that you got on salary, and 20 of them want you as a casualty. So it's like the people in your own camp are not really on your side. They obviously want you dead, you know? And one of them is actually next to you. So it could be game, right? Or it could be literally directly from his camp itself. And 2 of them is practically tired of your lifestyle, you know? Just don't got the audacity to tell you. Imagine it's 40. That'd be some messed up shit. The man that you pretty much made music with for the past decade plus. Oh man, anyways, let's continue.
Right? Or one of them at least. Know the wires in your circle should puzzle you. If you were street smart, then you would have caught that your entourage is only to hustle you. 100 niggas that you got on salary, 20 of them want you as a casualty, and one of them is actually, now, we'll say that later, next to you, and 2 of them is practically tired of your lifestyle, just don't got the audacity to tell you, but let me give you some game.
Yeah, right there. Where's that part? Yeah, but let me put you on some game, right? obviously that's also a reference to Game, in my opinion.
Because I can see you, my little homie. You playing dirty with propaganda, it blow up on you. You playing nerdy with Zach B and Twitter bots, but your reality can't hide behind Wi-Fi. Now,
I love that line. But your reality can't hide behind Wi-Fi. Your little memes is losing steam. They figured you out. The forced opinions is not convincing. You'll need a new route. Like, yeah, he has all these other people, right? Like Aiden Ross and DJ Academics and this and that, right? To push for whatever narrative or story he's trying to push. But at the end of the day, like people are gonna catch on, right? The internet, like everyone's watching, everyone's listening, everyone's connected in one way or another, right? And information and the truth is going to surface at the top no matter what, you know? And that's why I feel like Kendrick, look, is Drake always gonna sell albums and still be known and famous and sell out shows and be a big streaming artist? Yes, 100%. But you still can't take away the fact that one, he lost the battle, and two, that Kendrick did damage. That's the reality of the fact. Whether you like it or not, whether you admit it or not.
this was an interesting catch lately because of everything that's been going on and the role that the game's been playing all the way back since 2015, knowing the issues that Drake and Kendrick have, right? People are saying this was a very slight, like sleight of hand at Drake to make Drake look at Game and make him look at all these names that Kendrick is kind of technically throwing out there.
I mean, yeah, maybe Kendrick feels bad for Drake because he's surrounded by all these fake people. And as like a freebie, he mentioned Game's name very loosely in obviously a cryptic way.
Allegedly, like we don't really know what Kendrick is saying here, but we can make an idea, okay? And that's really what people are saying because of this line here. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not mad at the theory. I'm not mad at the idea that Kendrick is saying that the game is one of the moles. I'm not mad at that idea.
I do think besides Game, there is someone very immediately close to him in his camp who chills with him on a daily basis, that knows his whereabouts and knows so much of his personal life as well, who may be leaking this information. It could be for various reasons, right? Like it's mentioned in this lyrics, right? People that you have on salary that could be doing it. People who don't like you at all, right? But they can't tell you, right? See, like just don't have the audacity to tell you. They probably don't want to tell you because one, they might be not on the salary anymore. Two, they don't want to face the repercussions of it, right? Besides losing the salary. What if like Drake sends some goons to beat up that person or something, right? Or tries to get them killed, right? Or what if Drake also has dirt on that person equally?
Matter of fact, this is just a theory, obviously. So no one needs to take my word for take my words with a grain of salt. Take all my opinions and theories with a grain of salt. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have your own mind, as I'm sure most of y'all know. But I'm not mad at this at all, especially what we've been witnessing and seeing as of recently. Okay? Now, before we start talking about how I feel about it, we got to think about what is the game from this, right? What is the game plan? If the game is the actual mole, that insinuates that the game had been either instructed or in cahoots with Kendrick, etc., to put Drake in a vulnerable position or trade information or gather information for Drake and share it with Kendrick and company, right? And the thing that the game kind of, the thing that I wonder is, where does the game really gain here outside of something that we can't really see? There's no...
But even if let's say Game was doing this, right, intentionally, one, what is he gaining from it? And two, like, at that point, one, you obviously don't have a relationship with Kendrick anymore, and two, you would lose that relationship with Drake too. So why would you end up picking the side where you're gonna leak that information? Because if they find out, they obviously are not gonna mess with you anymore, right? So at that point, you're not cool with people on the West Coast, and obviously the person that you were rooting for, Drake, he's gone as well, right? So I don't know. This is a pretty. Let's see. Let's continue.
Like visible gain here. There's no visible gain for the game to be a mole and go garner this information outside of something that we might not know behind the scenes. And that's why.
And Game has mentioned before that Drake has done so much for him. What he has done, we don't know. Whether it's giving him money, because I know he says like, oh, like our kids are close and this and that as well. So we don't know like what Drake has done for Game.
Personally, I'm not on board with this theory. Now, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of context as to why I'm not on board with this theory, okay? And as a matter of fact, I think that Kendrick has kind of been shooting that game. The more we know, I feel like maybe Kendrick isn't really shooting that game, but he's like kind of slightly letting him know. When you go back and listen to some of these songs on GNX, I'm like, wait a minute.
It could be many reasons why Kendrick mentioned Game. One, to let him know that I see what you're doing in the sense of I know you're the mole. Two, it's letting Drake know that the Game is the mole. And three, Kendrick is letting the Game know that I see what you've been doing and you might be next if you come in the way, or you know, like.
I'm starting to look at these lyrics a little differently, right? And that's the genius of some of these lyrics. But I'm not mad at the theory. Now, the reason why I don't think it's true though, okay, is because what I actually think Kendrick Lamar is doing here is just planting seeds of doubt. I think that.
Yeah, that could be another theory, right? Kendrick might just be lying to plant a seed in Drake's mind and pretty much try to ruin that friendship, right? Or he might be just messing with his head, you know?
Kendrick Lamar, right now, I'm not sure. It could be true. It could be true that these guys. But when I think about some of the things that Kendrick guessed, in my honest opinion, like the more I think about it, in my very honest opinion, Kendrick Lamar, Drake is very predictable. There are some people that are like, look, when my battle comes out with the dude that I battle, you would have swore that somebody would have told me some of the.
Drake is very predictable, and you can tell he's very emotional and insecure. And he, I feel like, openly does things for the world to see, compared to Kendrick, who's very like low key and to himself in private.
Stuff that I had rebuttal or played defense on, because I had direct responses to a lot of the stuff that he said in his rounds. But that wasn't because I'm a genius with crazy or whatever, or somebody fed me information or nothing. It's just I knew what he was gonna reference. I knew what he was gonna talk about. I thought about all of the things that he could potentially try to do, right? And then I countered them. And this is what I think Kendrick is doing. I think Kendrick is, because you think about it, in push-ups, Drake is attempting to put in seeds of doubt between Kendrick Lamar and his camp. You know what I mean? With the lines about top dog and the lines about punch and all this different stuff, and what's it called? Getting extorted for 50% and all this different stuff, right? Drake is attempting to drop seeds of doubt. Kendrick is.
Because the fact that Kendrick knows like how emotional Drake is, or impulsive, I think that's also another reason why Kendrick is gonna keep messing with his mind, just because he knows how Drake is mentally.
Basically showing him, I'm better at all of this than you are. I can do all of this better than you. That's how I feel, right? So right here he says 100 niggas that you got on salary, 20 of them want you as a casualty, and one of them is actually 21 Savage. That's my view. 20 of them want you as a casualty, and one of them is actually. He wants Drake.
Oh wow. Holy crap, I didn't even put that together. And 20 of them want you as a casualty, and one of them is actually next to you, 21. Oh shoot. But why would 21 Savage do that though? When he literally dropped a project with him, right? Her loss. And actually when the whole beef started, you can tell 21 Savage was on his side. You know?
To assume that 21 Savage is one of the people, right? And two of them is practically tired of your lifestyle, just don't got the audacity to tell you. But let me give you some game. Now, cause I can see you, my lil homie. Now you in reality.
Yeah. Where'd that part go? Yeah, because I can see you, my little homie. So obviously Drake is older than 21 Savage by a few years.
This is how the game is treating Drake in a lot of instances, right? You know what I mean? Taking him through the hood, taking him through the projects, protecting.
Or also, yeah, Game is older than Drake by a few years as well, so it works both ways, right? From Drake to 21 Savage, and then from Game to Drake.
All this different stuff. He's even referenced him in that way, and I think that Kendrick is trying to seed some doubts about the game to Drake here as well. Now, once again, I don't know if this is true. It's just my opinion. But I think what Kendrick is doing is just trying to create doubt in Drake and make Drake second guess his next move. Make Drake second guess every.
Kendrick is playing such mind games with Drake to the point where he's not only questioning his second move, he's literally questioning everything that he's doing. You know, the way he moves, the way he responds, everything.
Every move he's about to make, and make Drake think that anything that he's about to do, Kendrick already knows it, and not because he's guessing, but because he actually knows. Because somebody in Drake's camp is actually.
That's what makes Kendrick such like a diabolical person. The fact that if he's getting all this information and it's true, and the fact that you're making a diss track and you're saying all of this stuff, and one, we don't know if Drake is able to catch on, and two, even if Drake is able to catch on to all these things, what if he's still sitting there clueless, like, oh, I wonder who's he talking about, right? Because you have to understand, like, Drake is surrounded by a lot of people, right? So you can't just line up 50 people, right? Or as he says over here, 100 ninjas, right? And just be like, all right, who's the mole? Like, who's leaking all the information, right? There's no way for you to tell. What are you going to go through everybody's phone, right? Somebody can text something real quick and delete it. You'll never know who's leaking what information, from where, what time. Anyways, let's continue.
Telling him. And if you notice, this was actually extremely effective because Drake continuously makes songs about everybody doing this and everybody doing that, and he's still doing that to this day. He's still going at people. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think is going on. And then when he gets to the whole it's time that you look around at who's around you before you figure that you're not alone. That's what Mike would do. And we got the infamous Mike Zombie 616 song. If you don't know, Mike Zombie is a producer, right? And he basically produces for OVO, but he also has a song called 616. And what Kendrick is doing is throwing a reference about Mike Zombie to make Drake question Mike Zombie.
Oh, wow. I did not know that. Well, I didn't know he had a song called 616. That's crazy. But if Mike Zombie is the one, I mean, I don't know how close that producer is to Drake. Like, does he chill with him on a daily basis, or does he strictly produce music? Oh wait, he is a OVO producer. But I mean, again, how often is he seeing him, right? Because if Drake is constantly traveling, he could just, Mike Zombie could just be in the studio making these beats and stuff.
Now, the reason why this is so effective is because Pusha T went on the Joe Budden podcast and basically said the information I got about Drake came from somebody in Drake's camp. You see what I'm saying? And so Drake has already become unsure at that point. Kendrick is basically just building on that. Now,
what if, I mean, here's another theory, right? What if Pusha T got information from one of his connects and gave it to Kendrick as well, right? Game could be a mole, right? Somebody in his direct camp could be a mole, right? People that may not be in Drake's camp, but who are close to Drake could be feeding that information as well, right? There's so many, I mean, hip hop is so connected. There's so many people that know each other that the chances of you getting information is very high, you know?
this is where I start to believe this is not the case, okay? Once again, shout out to my boy DeVille, okay? Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to him. But he made a video about basically that actually the Drake video with the game was either posted or took place on 6/16 in LA. So that title is a multiple reference to things which
yeah, I did talk about this in my previous video where that music video 100 off of Game's documentary 2 album, Game featuring Drake, where that music video was shot June 16th, 2015, and obviously 6/16 in LA.
Allows Drake to look in multiple directions of who could possibly be doing this, who could possibly be sharing this information. So Kendrick is extremely calculated in this. He's extremely calculated, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He's really emotionally manipulating Drake.
He is emotionally manipulating Drake. That's a great way to put it. I think till this day, in my personal opinion, I think Drake does not know who is leaking this information, to be honest, if you were to ask me.
In this moment, he's really dissecting the psyche of Drake in this moment. And 6/16 in LA on a song where you're talking about moles or talking about somebody potentially being a mole in your camp is creating distrust between Drake and the game. And who knows what that could have possibly turned into or if that was effective or whatever. But I think that was another reason that Kendrick named the song 6/16 in LA. Okay? Now, this is where I start to think, yeah, nah. Like, it adds to my theory that, or my counter to this theory, right? Let's get to some of these verses real quick. Where is it at? I think it's in the second verse where
I feel like I need to go back to Kendrick's GNX album and like dissect it again.
Kendrick makes it extremely clear, right? Kendrick makes it extremely clear right here. Fuck anybody empathetic to the other side, I vow. A bitch nigga love bitch niggas, they exist with them in style. Exterminate them right now. Okay? Now, in my mind, if you're the game and you hear this, Kendrick is making it extremely...
But is Game also clever enough to put the pieces together and figure out that Kendrick's talking about him? Is Drake also smart enough and really take Kendrick's advice on the fact that there's somebody in your camp that's leaking information? Right?
Clear. Anybody who is even halfway, even somewhat hanging on that side, leaning in that direction, you are my enemy as well. I don't fuck with you. It's over with. And that lets you know we didn't even need Stat Quo to come out and say that. A lot of us did not need Stat Quo to come out and confirm that. A lot of us actually have been saying this. right? But we didn't need no confirmation for that because it's in the lyrics, it's in the bars, it's in the understanding the timeline and the concept of all this stuff taking place. And Kendrick very clearly makes it extremely clear that if you are standing on that side, you exist with them in style, exterminate them right now. That and it.
Kendrick's ready to knock out everyone that's on the other side. That's why I love him. He don't care who it is. He's always ready for war.
Itself is not a threat of violence, but I think lyrically it's a threat. Musically, it's a threat. Like we damaged Drake to the point where he's at right now, can't even hang on the charts. And everybody that's aligned with Drake might as well end up being in that same boat. Right?
Yep.
Now, I'm pretty sure I had other lyrics up here as well. I think even from the part of Turn Me to an Eskimo, I drew the line and decimals. There's a lot of things that you can look at where he's clearly stating that anybody that's hanging on that side might as well be my enemy.
Look at this. It's a lot of opinions, but no power to carry it. 2025, they're still moving on some scary shit. That's funny because doesn't Drake have an EP, Scary Hours? It's like the way this man raps and how he puts pieces together. And even like he'll make such an he'll do it in such a cryptic way that is just like, holy crap, like did he just say that? And then you'll hear it, and then literally like days, weeks, and months later, you'll be like, oh, that's what he was talking about. We got a few more minutes and the video's over.
Me too. Okay? Now, let's go even further though. What about TV Off?
Oh, I love that song.
With what we just found out about the game being upset that Kendrick Lamar hasn't been answering his calls, hasn't been talking to him, etc., right? What about this part in the last verse of TV Off? All right?
The last verses. What is
He says, hold on, where is it at? He says, wait, no, I think it's in this verse. Yes, right here. If you ain't coming for no chili, what you come for? Nigga feel like he entitled because he knew me since a kid. Bitch, I cut my granny off and she don't see it how I see it. That
feel like he's entitled because he knew me since a kid. I cut my granny off if she don't see it how I see it. Yeah, who knows? Game might know Kendrick since he was a kid. I don't know. Got a big mouth, but he liked big ideas. Send him to the moon. That's how I feel. Oh, wow. I mean, I guess we'll never know, right?
don't feel like something that could be aimed at the game as well. I mean, the game feels entitled to Kendrick's time. He feels entitled to knowing Kendrick. He feels entitled to being Kendrick's energy. And the more I think about it, hold on, I didn't have this type down. But the more I think about it, let's pull up all the stars.
That's another good song.
Tell me what you gonna do to me. Confrontation ain't nothing new to me. You bring a bullet, bring a sword, bring a more, but you can't bring the truth to me. Fuck you and all your expectations. I don't even want your congratulations. Now I think this is a Drake. Don't get me wrong, okay? Because if you remember, Drake did congratulate Kendrick on Damn for having all this stuff, right? This comes out in 2018, the year after. I think Kendrick is telling him, I don't give a fuck about your congratulations. Right?
Wow. That's crazy. But sometimes, you know what I wonder? Like, why did Kendrick pick this specific time that he did in what 2024, right? To go at Drake, because clearly, I mean, if these lyrics are true, right? Like, if your congratulations, right? I mean, obviously for a decade plus, they've been throwing shots at each other subliminally, but why did Kendrick wait till 2024 and not do this either in 2018, 20, 22, right?
Right? I hate people that feel entitled. Look at me crazy because I didn't invite you. Oh, you important. You the moral to the story. You endorse a motherfucker. I don't even like you. A small percentage you I'm building with. I want the credit if I'm losing or on women or my mama. That's the realest shit. This feels like something that can apply to the game. Once again, even when we think about, I know this came before the pop out, but even if you think about the pop out, the game wasn't invited. He made a whole bunch of videos talking about how he was surprised he wasn't invited. And this isn't.
But I mean, Game should have known that he wasn't going to be invited to the pop out. Like, you literally made it known that you were going to be on Drake's side, right? And the pop out happened a few weeks after. Yeah. He released Not Like Us and all of that.
First time that the game has done something like that when it involves him and Kendrick. So I think Kendrick has been talking about how he thinks that the way the game is moving is distasteful, and the way the game feels entitled to its time is also distasteful. So I don't think there's any way possible that the game is the mole. And if the game is the mole, he would be he would probably have been the level of mole that he's playing is astronomical. This would be the craziest mole in the history of this shit. How the hell is the game the mole? If the game is really the mole, that'd be a master class in being a mole.
Yeah.
Because even on both sides, everything is pointing to the fact.
I mean, if Game is the mole, then he already lost Kendrick, right? He's also gonna lose Drake as well then.
That the game is disgruntled by Kendrick Lamar, and he's made that clear with his actions, even as far as teaming up with artists and allowing them to do certain, to diss Kendrick in the city, etc. And you can even look at the Game's verse and look at it kind of iffy. Kendrick has made it clear that he thinks that the way that the game is moving is distasteful. And the Game is most likely aware of that, which is probably why he thinks all of these tracks are diss tracks. I mean, Stat Quo just brought up a great point that I'm surprised none of us fucking thought about. But the I See Dead People is a Game line. And it's not even a Game line, but it's a part of a Game song that's one of his biggest hits. You turn around and that was a part of one of Kendrick.
Oh yeah, that's true. Game did isn't that on One Blood or something, right? Game mentions I See Dead People. Kendrick is crazy, I swear.
Kendrick's biggest hits. And people are looking at that and they're like, yeah, this has to be that. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at all of this combined, and there's probably more stuff out there that we can go look at, you know what I'm saying? Even Element, even the niggas thought they wasn't gonna see me, huh? Like, you can argue, what if that verse is about 616 in LA?
I'm sure there's so many subliminal shots that Kendrick has taken at Game. Because if he's done it to Drake throughout all these years, right, I'm sure he's done it to Game as well.
What if that verse is about? You got Macwop talking about, I can't wait till we have a tell-all. Right? It's just a lot of different things that if you look at it from that perspective, there's no way the Game is the mole. And I would argue that the Game is in total alignment with Drake. And that his whole, like, why won't Kendrick is an act. It's an act in order to confuse the fans and make it seem like there's a genuine storyline or a genuine.
Or maybe Game might be doing this for attention, right? Making all these videos and causing drama so the spotlight's on him, right?
Whatever, in order to endorse some type of battle. Because whether the Game wins or loses the battle, he wins. because he's going to be brought up through that battle. So unless Kendrick dominates and smites him in one shot, like, people are going to try to make the battle closer than it really was, just like they make it with Kendrick and Drake. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my opinion. I don't think the game is the mole. I do like the theory a lot though, and I think Kendrick has been making it clear that he thinks the game moves this.
My personal take, just because the fact that after watching this video, because the fact that Game is so close to Drake, and the fact that their kids are involved in all of this stuff, and obviously when the battle happened, Game picked a side, right? Which was Drake's. So it's like, why would he want to be on the losing end on both sides, right? Because he already lost Kendrick, right? And if he's the mole, then he obviously would lose Drake as well. So it's like he would be alone, right? So at that point, he would be a bigger loser than Drake, right? But let's see. We got a minute left.
Tasteful, and I think that Kendrick probably knows that. Another thing, the Game could probably be writing for Drake, and Kendrick, and he probably could have been writing for Game during that battle. He probably could have been writing for Game on Iceman. He probably could have, like, I'm writing for Drake on Iceman. Like, I think there's a bunch of people who have teamed up and started to help Drake write.
Yeah, that could be a situation, right? Let's say Drake has Game on a payroll, and Game is writing a lot of these lyrics, right? And who knows, maybe he might be just getting paid under the table and he doesn't want writing credits on it. Who knows, right?
That's what I'm saying? So, who knows? You feel me? But Kendrick could have been letting them know, like, I know that the Game is a part of, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people who are working with you. You feel what I'm saying? So, who knows though? Who knows? But hey, that's my opinion. That's my perspective. I appreciate y'all for coming. Appreciate y'all for watching.
It's another great video. But yeah, that's my take on that. Thank you guys for tuning in to the live stream. My next video is actually, this is going to be my next video, right?
The caller, which was provided to all of our personnel.
That's going to be my next video. But yeah, I'm going to end this stream right now because I got to do a little bit of work and stuff. And see you guys in the next one. So thank you guys. Be safe. Have fun. And summer's coming to an end. And yeah.